Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Lloydminster Interval Home Society has been a major part of the community for over 40 years. Over the years, the organization has grown, and so the decision to rebrand to Spark Foundation of Lloydminster was made.
We have evolved and our services have a deeper breadth. They have more of a connection to the community. So we felt, after 45 years, almost 45 years, it was time to really attach a name to who we've become as an organization. And Spark Foundation was the perfect name. Spark is really about igniting change in our community.
Going forward, Spark Foundation will continue to offer the support and resources to those escaping violence. In addition, they will also be working on their Project Hope campaign, as well as rebranding their store.
We also are still continuing to work on our Project Hope campaign, which is a new sheltering residential building that we have for planning for a new shelter. We're looking at detailed design as our next step, so that's kind of where we are in that process. We are looking at rebranding for the Interval store as well, so that's our major fundraiser for our organization, and it's been part of our organization since 1991 and named for the Interval store since 1991, and we're really doing some thinking about what we want to do with that piece of our organization as well.
E.S. Laird Middle School in Lloydminster held their exploratory today. This gave students the opportunity to pick different activities to be a part of for the morning. Students from around the school had a variety of choices to choose from, each allowing the individual to showcase their talents or learn something new.
I really like music, and I plan on playing other instruments as well, so it's kind of fun to learn more.
The event is a long-standing tradition at E.S. Laird, giving students a chance to get out of the classroom and learn new things in a different way.
Are linked to a curricular outcome of some sort, and just provides that experiential learning that we want to provide for the kids.
The school plans to do more exploratories over the course of the year. The Lloydminster Youth Council and the city have agreed to renew their long-standing partnership. Started in 2016, Lloydminster and the Youth Council have worked together to host events throughout the city, as well as to learn the ins and outs of the council process.
That is the next generation of our leaders, giving them the opportunity to start to form ideas, understand the concept of a council, how it works, how you get input from everybody, but at the end of the day, the majority moves the projects forward.
The agreement is set over the next 3 years, costing the city $11,000 annually.
The value that I think we're getting from that is well worth $11,000 and much more. How do we help our future leaders at the municipal level, provincial or federal level get started? This is the training ground that everybody that serves on a committee or a board says, yeah, maybe I'd like to do more. And if we can encourage people to do that and get them set on the right footing, I think it's huge.
Since its inception, the Youth Council has hosted 24 community events, 6 awareness campaigns with over 1,000 attendees. If there's one thing we've been saying about the weather so far today in Lloydminster, it's that it's deceptively cold.
Yes, it looks beautiful out, and it's beautiful sunny, and it looks gorgeous. It is chilly.
It is.
And it's that wind, we had gusts coming up to about 43 kilometer per hour gusts and 23 kilometer per hour winds. So it does feel a little bit chilly, and you can definitely tell fall is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Those leaves are starting to fall off and change to yellow. But temperature-wise, not too bad, despite the wind and this is kind of chilliness of the wind. It is 17 degrees, beautifully sunny out, which we saw all day today. So that's very nice to see despite it being chilly. That's the best part of fall weather, is that kind of sweater weather, which is what we are definitely getting into. 26 kilometer per hour winds. And then current temperatures in Alberta similar to what we're seeing here. 18 in Vermilion, Marwayne, Vegreville, Bonnyville, 19 out in Cold Lake, 17 out in Edmonton and in Lac La Biche, and then then also 19 out in Wainwright as well. And then in Saskatchewan, also similar temperatures to what we're seeing here. 15 up in Isle Across, 17 in Green Lake and St. Walburg, 18 in Pierceland and Meadow Lake, and then 19 out in Maidstone and North Battleford. And then overnight tonight in North Battleford, we'll drop down to 6 degrees, so it is going to feel cooler, and those clouds will start to increase as the evening goes on. There's about a 60% chance of a couple late night showers, so that's always something to look out for. 11 km/h winds. And then tomorrow, just a daytime high of 16. It is going to be quite chilly out, mostly cloudy, and there is those showers may continue over into places in the afternoon. So that's always, definitely something to prepare for. 13 km/h winds out tomorrow. So not going to be too great of a day out. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, 5 degrees, mainly clear, so it is going to be a lovely evening out. Those clouds are going to roll in as the evening goes on. However, only 9 km/h wind, so that's not going to be much of a factor. And then tomorrow, a daytime high of 15. It will be a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. 13 km/h wind, so it may feel a tad chilly than that 15 degrees. And then overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, 6 degrees will be our overnight temperatures. And then we also have a chance of rainfall. Those clouds will start to increase, and 90% chance of some showers, but it'll be mainly later on in the evening. 13 km/h, and so at least the wind will slow down as the evening goes on. And then tomorrow, 6 a.m., it will be cloudy, 7 degrees, 15 km/h winds, and there is a chance that there could be some rainfall in the morning. Noontime, it'll still be cloudy, 13 degrees, 17 km/h winds, and that will carry over into 6 p.m. around. It will remain around 13 degrees, mostly cloudy, and there's about a 56% chance of some showers in the evening as well. And then midnight, it'll be mostly clear at 7 degrees, 24 km/h wind. So that wind will start to pick up in the evening. And then over the next 3 days, like I said, we are expected some rain for tomorrow. And then on Saturday, it'll be partially sunny, so a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 13 and a low of 4. And then we warm up a little bit on Sunday. It will start out sunny, and then those clouds will start to thicken up as the day goes on, but it will be a high of 18 and a low of 7. So it definitely does warm up a little bit this weekend, and we will have more chances to see that sun. This is a first look at your evening weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
The Lakeland Rustlers volleyball teams are hosting a preseason tournament with college volleyball teams from all across the province coming. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm joined by Austin Dyer, the head coach of the Lakeland Rustlers women's volleyball team. And he's here today to talk about the Lakeland Rustlers Volleyball Tournament, which will be held this weekend. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Austin.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Austin, can you tell me a little bit about the tournament and where the idea came from to host the tournament, as well as how you guys get all these great teams to come out to compete in the tournament and hosting a few games at ES Laird as well?
Yeah, just a number of years ago, I started to host just an exhibition tournament to give an opportunity to play in our own gym and stay in our own community and bring in some teams to host an exhibition tournament. It's developed into something that just happens annually, and this year we have 7 teams coming to join us. I typically split my team into 2 to give all of my athletes an opportunity to play and to get a bunch of matches in to start the year. And just actually just starting last year, our men's team started to host at the same time. So we have our team and our men's team both bringing teams in, and so just with the amount of teams, needed to add an extra facility to be able to get enough matches in for everybody. So we have a few games being played at ES Laird Middle School as well, just to allow the opportunity to get those games in. But then it's also a great opportunity as I also work part-time in the public school division, and my home school is ES Laird, and so I'm very excited to bring our team to be able to play in front of all of our students on Friday as well.
And you mentioned that your Rustlers will have 2 teams in the tournament. How important is it to get all the players some playing time in this preseason before the regular season starts up?
Yeah, our preseason, I do everything I can to give everybody opportunity to be able to play. And as we get to league and as the year goes, there's a chance that a lot of the athletes on my team won't really get a chance to get into matches a whole lot, and won't get to play a whole lot once league rolls around. And so, try to set up as much opportunity as I can during exhibition, so that way everybody gets a chance to play. And because again, that gives everybody a chance to grow and play together and do some different things. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to play, and so if I can set up some opportunity to allow that to happen, that's what we're looking for.
And you and your brother are a big part of the volleyball scene here in Lloydminster. How important is it to have high-level volleyball games being played at ES Laird to expose the game to a few more kids?
Yeah, volleyball has absolutely taken off. And when I first moved to Lloydminster back in 2008, volleyball was almost non-existent in our community and in the area. Like there was a few teams and a little bit of play, but it wasn't the sport of choice by any means, and it was very minimal. And so to look at what has happened to volleyball within our community and in our area from when I moved to Lloydminster until now, we take a lot of pride in how the growth of the sport, and doing everything we can to get as many kids playing as possible. And that's always been the mission with all the programming that we've ran at the college. And initially, I ran Rustlers Club Volleyball for the first, I don't know, 12, 13 years when I came here. Now volleyball's been just moved under Taylor, who's our men's coach at the college, under his portfolio. So I'm more just an ear for club volleyball now. I'm not actively involved with it as much anymore. But again, Taylor's kept things going, and he's kind of kept the same mission of, just how can we get as many kids playing volleyball as possible. And so, yeah, with volleyball growing in the community in the area, it's a great thing to see the amount of kids that are playing compared to when I first moved here. And so now to be able to bring exposure of our college teams and stuff into the public eye and into the schools, and to be able to use that as a role modeling opportunity for kids to be able to see post-secondary athletes play, and then just to kind of see what opportunities are out there, and then also to promote our teams at Lakeland College as well. I think it's a win for everybody.
And finally, Austin, how excited is your team to be getting back on the court and for the regular season to be beginning, as you guys have the chance to repeat as national champions once again for the third time in a row?
Yeah, our team's real excited to defend our title. We're going to have a really good opportunity to be able to three-peat here. And so, if we stay healthy and we stick to doing what we do, we're definitely going to have an opportunity to be able to defend that title, which is crazy that we're going to have that opportunity to win 3 championships in a row. But it's a long season, so we got a lot of work to do, and a lot of hurdles we're going to have to jump through before that can even happen. But just even the idea that it could happen, that's exciting in itself.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Austin, and we look forward to seeing all of these teams here in Lloydminster this coming weekend.
Awesome, thanks very much.
The Mystic Moonlight Market and Psychic Fair is planned for the Border City next month. Stacey Comer has more on what you can experience at the event.
There's a special event happening in Lloydminster next month. It is basically a Mystic Moonlight Market and Psychic Fair, which just sounds so intriguing to me. So I had to reach out to the people organizing it. And joining me today, we have Kevin Jackson. Kevin is the owner-operator of Heart and Soul Healing. And then we have Tammy Hope Gray, who is the owner of Shrima Healing. So thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. It's awesome to be here.
Well, let's talk about this event. Like I said, it sounds so exciting and so intriguing. So can you tell me, when people walk through the door, what can they expect?
Well, the Moonlight Market is going to have, it's a 2-day magical marketplace featuring a whole bunch of unique vendors, holistic treatments, spiritual readings, interactive workshops that we've added to the fold this time around. It's so much more than just a marketplace. It's a sanctuary for connection, creativity, and community. This event is about bringing people together under the Hunter full moon to explore spirituality, share our passions, and uplift one another. You can shop for mystical items like crystals, jewelry, candles, spiritual tools. We have intuitive readings, holistic services. We have a full moon circle, and we're also doing a witches dance for fun in the light of Halloween coming up in the same month, of course. We have some mini workshops and some seminars that are going to be running on Friday and Saturday. We also have door prizes and swag bags for people as well.
Now, can you tell me why you decided to hold this market here in Lloydminster?
The biggest reason is to foster connection, growth, and abundance through shared experiences and collective energy.
And Kevin, can you maybe go through some of the different, I know that she had mentioned it, but just maybe break down a little bit some of the different vendors who are going to be there? And are they from just Alberta and Saskatchewan, or are they coming from further than that?
No, they're all from Alberta and Saskatchewan. They like all the way from I think Saskatoon, and I think there's some from Edmonton, Calgary, quite a wide range of people. They are, and there's everybody from Aura Imaging, and readers, and there's apothecary. There's a girl coming in for apothecary, permanent jewelry. There's it's very exciting to have someone doing permanent jewelry. There's healings, people doing Reiki, craniosacral. I don't know. There's just so much. It's hard to imagine. There's all kinds of crystal people selling different kinds of crystals, different source crystals, different metaphysical supplies. There'll be lots of that, different crystal gardens, or what do they call it? Fairy gardens, that kind of thing there. They, I don't know what else. Is there anything else?
Well, it really sounds like it's kind of a one-stop shop for anybody who is interested in, anything on the spiritual side of things. And one thing I wanted to mention too is a lot of time you go to these events and you do have to pay a fee when you get in the door, but that's not the case with this one.
No, it's absolutely free.
All right.
Absolutely free.
And where is it going to be? And can you give me the hours and the dates, please?
It's at the Border Inn Suites at the South parking lot in the Crown Ballroom. It's an indoor space, so it's going to be great. It's completely accessible for everybody and anybody. The market will run from 1 p.m. till 9 p.m. on Friday, and then on Saturday from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. And again, the first 25 people in the door on both those days will get a swag bag.
And that is October the 18th and 19th. And if anybody is interested, because like you mentioned, there are so many different booths and events that are going to be happening, where can they find all the information in one place?
So on Facebook, there's a page on Facebook with Mystic Moonlight Market, Lloydminster. And if you go into that page, there are, we have everything listed in there, as well as there's an event for the market, and you go into discussion, and it'll list all. It'll have posts about all the different vendors that are coming and all the different courses that will be offered those days.
And is there do you have to sign up ahead of time for some of these courses, or can you just show up that day? What would you recommend?
Yeah, our classrooms right now, we have 4 on the Facebook page that are being offered. And there's a limit of 20 people per class, so they're small and intimate. And there's different price ranges and whatnot, but the details are there, and you can get them at Eventbrite is where you can get the tickets from. But you can link through Facebook.
Perfect. And you do recommend that people sign up ahead of time?
Yes, absolutely, to get your spot for sure, 100%.
Okay, great.
And
Well,
lots
thank
of
you
them are
guys.
giving things with like tools with the workshops. So
One class is Introduction to Pendulums. So with that, you'll go in, you'll learn a little bit about the pendulums and their history, and then also you'll leave with a pendulum. You pick one, or maybe one will pick you.
Okay, great. Yeah. Like I said, when I looked on the page, there's just so much happening and so much going on, which is fantastic. So thank you guys once again for joining me. And we will see you at the event again, October 18th and 19th in Lloydminster. And it is the Mystic Moonlight Market and Psychic Fair. Thank you guys once again for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to meeting you.
Yeah.
It's now time to look at your adorable animals in our pet picks of the day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
The powerful story of one family's struggle to survive while growing up in China is now an award-winning novel. Stacey Comer has more with the author of The House Filler.
We have another author spotlight today on Primetime Local News. I'm excited to be joined by Tonga, who is a author just released her debut novel. First of all, congratulations. This must be so exciting for you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the novel itself. So it's called The House Filler. So what inspired you to write this book?
Well, the book is based on my grandma's story. So the time span covers from 1920 to 1966 in China. She was a widow with bound feet and illiterate, and she went through wars and political turmoils and poverty. So yeah, she had a really hard life. That's how I was inspired.
And did you get stories from her? Did she tell you about her life? Is that how you compiled this together?
Actually, I heard most of her stories. Actually, I heard, yeah, most of her stories from my mother. But I verified with my other relatives while writing this book. I also did my own research for the historical events and the settings, what really happened. Yes, tons of work.
So how long did it take you for this process by the time you started the research and to get the book published? Was it quite a long amount of time, or did you just get started and you were driven and you knew right away and got it done super quickly?
It took a long time because I first wrote a really big long book with 240,000 words, and I couldn't find a publisher. Eventually, a mentor of mine told me I have to divide it into 2 or 3 books. So I divided into 3 books. This is the first book of the series. The whole series took me about nearly 20 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. That is an incredible amount of time to get that done and through that perseverance. And I was telling you that I was looking at some of the reviews on Amazon and they are all so complimentary, with one of them saying, "This is one of the best books that I've ever read." So what does that mean to you to see the reaction from people just absolutely loving your grandmother's story and the way that you've written the first book?
That means a lot to me because I face this like more challenges probably than average Canadian writers because first of all, English is my second language. And my background has nothing to do with creative writing. I have a Master of Science degree and a Bachelor of Commerce degree. So it took a lot. I started to learn how to write in 2006 in English. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very incredible. And then you just told me before we started the interview that you are a finalist for the Canadian Book Club Prize. So tell me, what does that mean and how excited are you for that?
I'm really, really excited because the competition is fierce. They told me in the email, and they decided, anybody can make to this far. You're good. You're pretty good.
So what happens now with the next books in the series? Are they ready to be released, or is that something where we're going to have to wait a little bit yet?
Actually, I'm still looking for a home for my next 2 books. Each book focuses on a different generation. So first book is about my grandmother. Second is about my parents. Third one is about myself before I came to Canada. Yeah.
Well, and why was it important for you to write these stories and get them, into a place where they're basically like a living history?
Actually, recently I read an article talking about a survey conducted about what is the number one reason for people want to write stories. Believe it or not, the number one reason is not about money, fame, or anything like that. Number one reason is to right a wrong. So my family suffered so much during the wars and also political regime change, all that. And it's just I just feel like the world need to know this story because yeah, now the world is a village, right? Everybody affects everybody. So yeah.
Well, I just it's such an effort that you put into getting these books out, and like I said, amazing reviews, and now you're the finalist. So I'm glad that you started this project, and hopefully we can talk to you again in the future and find out that there are another couple of books that are out and published as well. So in the meantime, if someone is trying to find the first book, again, it's called The House Filler. Where can they purchase the book and where can they find out more about you?
By the way, this is how it looked like.
Okay.
And you can find it in probably lots of Canadian local bookstores and also on Amazon. I'm always a supporter for the local independent bookstore, so I urge people to check them out first. Oh, by the way, you can also find it in the library. So lots of libraries, actually.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time today. This is, again, an incredible story. And thank you so much. We look forward to chatting with you again in the future.
Thank you, Stacy. Me too.
Coming up after the break, our Abby St. John will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Welcome back. We saw a very beautiful sunny day. However, it was on the chillier side with that wind. We saw strong winds, 20km+/hour, and then 40 km/hour gusts of wind. So it definitely was on the chillier side, but that sun was still nice. 18 degrees here in Lloydminster, also out in Red Deer, and then 17 out in Edmonton, Athabasca, Edson and Jasper, 15 in Whitecourt, and Cold Lake is sitting at 19. And then in Saskatchewan, similar temperatures to what we're seeing here in Alberta. 19 out in Meadow Lake and North Battleford, 18 in Saskatoon, and 15 in Prince Albert and in Melfort. And up north in Saskatchewan rather, 17 in Uranium City, La Loche, and Buffalo Narrows, 16 in Stony Rapids, 20 out in Flin Flon, 14 out in South End, and in Alberta, 19 out in Fort Mac, 17 in High Level and Grand Prairie, 18 in Fort Chipewyan, 16 out in Peace River, and 15 in Slave Lake. Down south in Alberta, 20 out in Medicine Hat, 22 out in Lethbridge, so it's a little bit warmer in those areas, 18 in Calgary, 19 in Coronation, and Banff is sitting at 16. And then in Saskatchewan, 19 out in Kindersley, 18 in Swift Current and in Yorkton, 17 in Moose Jaw, 15 in Regina, and then Estevan is sitting at 16. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, expected some rainfall tonight. Later on in the evening, about a 60% chance, and those clouds will start to increase. It's going to feel a little bit cooler as well, with a low of 5 degrees, 11 km/hour winds, but it is going to be a little bit on the chillier side with that rain as well. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, 5 degrees as well, mainly clear, and then those clouds will start to thicken up as the evening goes on. 9 km/hour wind, so it's not going to be much of a factor. And then more overnight temperatures across the region, 4 degrees out in Meadow Lake and in Bonnyville, 8 in Provost, 7 in Isle Cross, and 5 in Paradise Hill. There's about a 90% chance of a few showers overnight tonight in Provost. And then more overnight temperatures, 5 degrees in Murnum and in Pierceland, and then 6 degrees out in Unity, Wainwright, and in Calgary. Chances of rainfall in Unity, Wainwright, and Calgary as well overnight tonight. Then mostly partially cloudy to clear skies. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, we also have a chance of some showers later on tonight. 5 degrees is our overnight temperature, 13 km/hour wind, so that wind will slow down, but it still might be a factor, so it may feel a little bit more chillier tonight with that rainfall as well. And then over the next 7 days, we have expected rainfall for tomorrow. A couple of afternoon showers with a high of 15 and a low of 5. And then it's supposed to be quite sunny on Saturday with a high of 15 and a low of 4. And then on Sunday, it warms up a little bit to 18 of the daytime high with a low of 7 with a heavier cloud presence. And then that's the same on Monday with a high of 19 and a low of 7. And then we warm back up on Tuesday with a high of 23 and a low of 10, predictably to be very sunny out as well. And then a high of 26 on Wednesday. So it is going to be very warm next week for a couple of days with a low of 11. And then on Thursday, it is going to be a little bit cooler, but still warm, of a high of 18 and a low of 7 with expected sunny conditions. So we do have cooler conditions this week. Definitely feels like fall, but next week we do get a treat to a little bit of 20-degree plus weather. So we still have that to look forward to.
At the tail end of September too. So we are really quite fortunate for this September. We've had a very warm September overall.
Hold on to those days for sure. Take advantage.
Winter is coming, that is for sure.
Yes.
That is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching and have a great night.